Today on the newscast, as Israel pounds Gaza with more airstrikes, the UK begins evacuations of its citizens from Israel. Get all the breaking details next. Hey folks, welcome to the newscast. We have some breaking news coming out of the UK today. British officials have announced they are evacuating their citizens from Israel. Now they're calling this an orderly departure. The first flights are expected within the next 24 hours. But this is obviously not happening without some very good prodding from the Israeli Defense Forces, who are urging all foreign nationals to leave the country as soon as possible. And of course, they are pounding Gaza relentlessly right now as we speak, with hundreds upon hundreds of airstrikes over the past few days. So we'll break down what's going on here in a minute. Plus a massive Hamas surprise that Israeli officials just announced today. Did Hamas perhaps take hostages into the tunnels beneath Gaza? What is going on? We're going to break it down for you. Before I do, a quick reminder to subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you get alerts every time a new video is posted. Hey, real quick before we dive into this breaking news, a quick reminder to subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you get alerts every time a new video is posted. You know, these platforms are really cracking down on independent media, but we want to keep you up to date with all the latest news updates. So be sure to join us if you have not yet done so. Okay, let's dive into this evacuation order. Now, it's not just the UK. If you live in Israel right now as a foreign national, you need to get out while the getting is good, because things are heating up over there. And the last thing you want to be caught up in is a ground war between Israel and Hamas. We may be getting close to that point. Again, no one would blame you for wanting to get out. That's why the British government is facilitating these orderly departures. They will help their citizens. They say, depart Israel. But here's the key thing to note here, folks. The UK has been remarkably quiet throughout this entire war on the side of Israel. They've provided not only diplomatic support, which is the right thing to do considering Israel is a key ally of the UK, but they have also provided military aid. We're talking about advanced weaponry here, including a surface-to-air missile defense system called the Now, this is designed to shoot down planes and helicopters. It's a very lethal system. Also, the UK has sent drones to assist the Israeli Defense Forces. There's some sort of 50 or 60 that was sent. These are Reaper drones. They're unmanned. They can certainly pack quite a punch. And they've been used by the US military and other militaries around the world. So the UK is definitely upping the ante here, upping the lethality factor of the weapons that they are providing to Israel. And again, their official support for Israel is pretty unwavering and strong at this point. So this evacuation order came as somewhat of a surprise. And how does the UK get its citizens out? Well, they're flying them out on civilian airliners. The first flight is expected tomorrow, and Israel has reportedly closed its airspace. So these flights, this evacuation is being conducted under the watchful eye and protection of the Israeli Defense Forces. As we said, they are urging all foreign nationals to leave as soon as possible. Why now? Why is the UK making this move? Are they anticipating something? Are they getting out ahead of a potential ground invasion of Gaza by the Israeli Defense Forces? Could things be heating up on the ground? Remember, over 7,000 rockets have been fired from Gaza into Israel since this thing kicked off a little over a week ago, and Israel has responded with thousands and thousands of airstrikes. We're talking about hundreds upon hundreds, 1,000 plus reportedly yesterday alone. Things are heating up. The Israeli Prime Minister said today that he wants to increase the pressure on Hamas, and that a ground assault is a possibility. So this may be the reason why the UK is acting now. They do want to get caught up in a potential ground war where things get even more chaotic and dangerous. So they're getting their citizens out while the getting is good. Now, another point to make here, and I think this is most important of all, that the UK is not evacuating its citizens from Lebanon. And this is probably because the situation along that northern border with Lebanon is much more tenuous and precarious than what we're seeing to Israel's south along the Gaza Strip. Hezbollah, which rules that country with an iron fist. Hezbollah, Iran's most lethal proxy. They control southern Lebanon. Hezbollah and Israel are bitter enemies. They've fought wars against one another in the past. Hezbollah undoubtedly will enter this conflict on the side of Hamas. Israel says Hezbollah is preparing to do exactly that. They're moving towards that northern border. So I think that's why the UK is not evacuating its citizens from Lebanon. They simply cannot right now with Hezbollah controlling that country. Israel, of course, cannot guarantee the safety of those people who are still living in Lebanon. The other angle here that I think is worth mentioning is that Israel has urged its own citizens, many of whom have had to flee their homes in the south. They've had to flee to the north. But Israel is now saying to its own citizens, look, if at all possible, stay away from the home front. Don't go back to your homes. Many have been destroyed. But if you're still in the area, get out. Once again, we seem to be approaching a ground assault. Speaking of that, we have an interesting story today from Jerusalem Post reporter Amy Doe, who says that the IDF uncovered a Hamas tunnel under a school near the Gaza border, and according to Shin Bet, the Israel Security Services, Hamas operatives used the tunnel to smuggle weapons into the schoolyard. So clearly, they were planning some sort of attack. But the operative was eliminated during a raid by Israeli forces. He was killed. But nonetheless, that is a huge concern right now, folks. Are there more of these tunnels beneath schools? Are there tunnels perhaps beneath hospitals that we don't know about? are Hamas operatives using these tunnels to store weapons and then launching attacks on the Israelis from within the tunnels themselves. So that's an angle that we haven't really heard too much about, but that seems to be emerging right now. In the meantime, I mentioned this at the top, but did Hamas perhaps take hostages into the tunnels beneath Gaza? That was the question posed by Israeli officials today. They released a statement and they said that Hamas fighters were seen carrying equipment that was used to digging tunnels into the direction of kibbutzim, which are those Israeli farming communities along the Gaza border. So did Hamas take hostages into those tunnels? And are they using the tunnels to hold hostages right now? Very good questions. Now, we've been talking a lot about a ground assault by the Israeli Defense Forces. When will that come? Will it come? And remember, we talked about this scenario a little over a week ago, when the fighting broke out, that there are 11 million Palestinians living in the Gaza Strip. If Israel goes in with tanks and troops on the ground, what happens to these people? And indeed, humanitarian organizations have warned that a ground assault could lead to a major humanitarian catastrophe. Well, now the Israeli Prime Minister is saying that he wants to strike Hamas at its financial heart, basically put an economic siege on Gaza. This includes targeting financial institutions, banks, currency exchange offices, money transfer places. What do you think? How long can Hamas survive an economic siege if they're cut off completely from all financial resources? Let me know what you think in the comments section. I believe that Israel has a right to defend itself, but I also believe that Hamas, despite its barbaric actions, which include murdering babies, yes, killing babies, throwing grenades into schools, using human shields, using civilians as human shields, all things that are violations of international law. I believe that Hamas is also entitled to some degree to humanitarian assistance. These people in Gaza, innocent people, they need food, they need water, they need medical care, so I am concerned about what a prolonged siege may mean for the innocent people trapped in Gaza. Keep all of this in your prayers. Folks, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Pray for wisdom for Israeli leaders as they make very difficult decisions right now. Pray for the brave men and women of the IDF, the Israel Defense Forces, as they serve on the front lines. Pray for the people of Israel. Pray for the people of Gaza. Pray for the region. And don't lose hope. God is still in control. Thank you so much for joining us here today on the Watchman Newscast. Until next time, God bless you, and remember, never hold your peace. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the Watchman Newscast. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss an upload, and tap the bell icon so you're notified every time a new video is posted. And don't forget to share your thoughts, insights, and comments below. We'll see you back here tomorrow.